collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at Kamen Rider Shodo Double Cross 9. So there are 6 boxes in this assortment. We have Kamen Rider V3, Kamen Rider Kuuga, Amazing Mighty, Kamen Rider Oma Zi-O, Kamen Rider Jin Burning Falcon, Go Godoraba, who is apparently a Grongi from Kuuga that I have to be honest, I don't remember all that much. And then we have the accessory box here. So kind of a smaller wave, only 5 new figures here. But V3 looks pretty good. Just to show you a kind of typical box here, you have the top of the box that has the character and telling you what number it is in the assortment and the name. Of course, you have the character here on the front. Just have some warnings and whatnot on the side. Over on this side, you have the full lineup of the 6 different boxes, and then just kind of pointing out some of the features of the figure here on the back. So I'm not going to go through all of the different characters. I'll show you the accessory box here real quick. So you get 2 sizes of wings for Jin. You also get Jin's weapon, you get the sword here for the Grongi, and then you have these 2 little accessories that say they're for V3. The V3 holder? No, what does that say? Hold on. Zoom in there. The Hoppa, V3 hopper, and then the holder V3 hopper. So I guess this is a weapon and then a weapon holder to clip it on his belt. So I guess we'll take a look at all that. Full disclosure, I've never seen V3, so I don't know what those little pieces are, but we'll figure it out. But kind of a sparse box, honestly. I mean, the wings are taking up the majority of it, but they look pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead, get everything out of the boxes here, and we'll take a closer look. So here are 5 figures fully assembled out of the packaging. There's not really much assembly to do, honestly. You have to pop the heads on, which for whatever reason for this wave was more trouble than it usually is. I don't know why it was so difficult to get them to pop on, but they eventually did. Now I've got V3 in the V3 for President pose right here. I don't really know the context of these peace sign hands. I guess you could kind of have him do like the Batusi as well. If I could actually get this to cooperate. There we go. So something like that. I don't know. I don't know exactly why he comes with these, but they're fun. I like them. The figure looks good. Head sculpt I think is nice. You got standard Shodo double cross articulation, so a little bit of up and down on the head ball joint, but not much, mostly side to side, and you can kind of tilt a little side to side as well. Then you have a ball joint here in the shoulder. You have a bicep swivel, 90 degrees there in the elbow. You have a spin at the kind of glove cuff because that's where the hand comes off. So when you want to switch these out, it's the whole glove cuff for him. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure, is just at the wrist, but he's got the whole glove. Then you have 2 ball joints here, one in the abdomen, one at the waist, so you can move around a nice bit there. Paint applications, really sharp here on the chest, the driver, all of that looks great. And then there's this little piece here that slots into the side of the belt. We'll talk more about that a little bit later on. You have a ball joint here in the hip, so you can kick pretty far forward, pretty far out to the side. Slightly back, but you start to hit into his scarves there. But then you have a thigh swivel, I would say maybe 120 in the knee, something like that. And then you got a ball joint down here in the ankle, and then you also have like a foot hinge, or a toe hinge, I guess we'll say. So he does have these crazy hands, but fear not, that's not all he comes with. He's actually got the most hands out of anybody in the wave, and it's a crazy amount. So first off, we'll start with a grasping set of hands. So if you want him to hold any accessories or like a motorcycle handlebar or something like that, he does have a gripping set of hands. He's got a closed fist set of hands, and then he's got 2 different open set of hands. So this is like a fully open hand, and then this one you can see that the bottom 2 fingers are like curved in slightly. I don't know why he needed both of these sets of hands. Again, maybe it's very important in V3. I haven't seen it, but there you go. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. So you got options for V3. Don't let anyone tell you different. Now the other accessory that comes in the accessory box, we talked about this little piece here on the side. So I guess this is some kind of accessory, and it's in a holster right now. The accessory box gives you the ability, this I guess is the accessory taken out of the holster. It kind of looks like a MIB neuralizer, so maybe V3's wiping your memory, I don't know. but you can take it out of the holster, and then they give you an empty holster to slot into the belt while he's holding it. So I'm not going to bother showing that off for two reasons. One, the accessory is super tiny, and it's not that easy for the hands to hold it. Like, you can kind of... actually, I'm wrong. I guess it's not that hard, but it kind of gets lost. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird little accessory, but the gripping hands can hold it, which is nice. But slotting in the piece to the side of the belt is kind of a pain in the butt. So take my word for it. You can switch that out if you'd like. I mean, that's a ridiculously intricate detail, but cool that they do it. I think that's neat that they include that. So yeah, V3 is looking pretty good. Next up, we will check out Amazing Mighty. Kamen Rider Kuuga, Amazing Mighty. So we've seen a lot of Kuuga in Double Cross, so it makes sense that they would finish off here with Amazing Mighty. Looks pretty good. Head sculpt is nice. Paint application's really sharp. That gold everywhere really pops. I think it's nice that they did the gold trim all the way around onto the back. I kind of wish they had taken the silver of the belt just to this first side piece. I don't expect them to paint the belt all the way around, but I do kind of wish that they had painted this part as well. But either way, it looks pretty good. Some nice silver and gold paint there. A little bit of gold down here on the shins as well. Articulation, exactly the same as V3. Nothing new there. But like I said, they just have different hands at the wrists. So you can spin these around. They're a little tight, but when you want to switch out the hand, it's just the hand, not the whole glove or wrist or anything like that. So, but he, of course, he comes with the Kuuga thumbs up. Got to. Showing off the other hands that he comes with. So he's got a two-finger pointing set of hands, a closed fist set of hands. I have the other one on his body right now, and then an open set of hands. So pretty nice choices there. And overall, I think he looks pretty good. Nice articulation, great paint applications. With the shoulders, they're kind of a softer plastic, so you can move them up a little bit if you need to, just by kind of pushing the arm up. Doesn't really hinder articulation that much. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much standard articulation for him. Now, I know we're going to be going out of order, but next up I'm going to take a look at, and I've already forgotten his name, Goroba. This is a Grongi that would fight Kuuga. That's why I'm jumping right to him. He has a sword in the accessory set, so the sword does not come with just the figure. This is in the accessory box, but he looks good. I mean, nice detail. All the molding and everything. The head sculpt, I think, looks pretty good. That's all nice. The shoulders, a lot of nice molded detail. The paint applications look sharp. Got a little fur here around the collar. Unfortunately, that does cut off halfway. I wish they would have finished that around. But otherwise, really nice paint applications. And he's got these cool toes. I like that. Still has the articulation, doesn't lose anything there. So he's also got kind of similar shoulders to Kuuga, so you can move them up if you need to, but they're not attached. They're attached to the torso, not the shoulder itself. But yeah, overall, really nice articulation, really nice paint applications. I don't remember much about this character, but I think they did a good job. I think he looks really good. For his accessories, he has this kind of clawed set of hands. So I have one on him right now, and here's the other. And then you have a closed set of fists, and then you have a gripping set of hands. So I've got one of each of the gripping hands and the claw hands on him right now. But yeah, he's cool. Like I said, don't remember much about the character, but I love having villains for them to fight, and I think this guy looks great. Really, really nice. Speaking of villains, next up we got Oma Zi-O. Really nice job on this guy. I mean, tons of paint applications. The details are just out of control. I love the head. I think they did such a good job there. This one was particularly difficult to get on, but I think it's on there eventually. Shoulder pads are pretty big. The arms, I will say, are a little restricted because of those shoulder pads. This piece here, I believe, is molded onto the shoulder, but this piece is... I don't even know how that's attached, to be quite honest with you, but it does kind of... you can do a little bit out to the side and a little bit forward and back, but not nearly as much as the others. But you still get the, bicep swivel, elbows, all that kind of stuff. I have him doing a force pose right now with this hand that he's got going on here. But you got the sash, the driver, all that's really nicely painted. All the gold's really sharp. You got the watch hand kind of cape thing going on there. So all in all, I think he looks pretty good. Otherwise, I would say his articulation is pretty standard. It's really just the shoulders that are impacted just because he's got all that bulkiness on him. As far as accessories, he doesn't really have any in the accessory box, but he does have like a second force hand. So he's got a force set of hands, as I'm going to call them. Kind of an open set of hands and then a closed fist set of hands. So 3 sets for him. A little bit on the lighter side, but I think it makes sense. We never really saw him on the show with any kind of swords or anything like that. So definitely a very good looking figure. And then last up in the assortment, one of my personal favorites from this wave, Jin Burning Falcon. All of that metallic red just looks so sharp. The head looks amazing. You got the metallic green there for the eyes. All of this red looks really, really good. Really, really sharp. Shoulder-wise, you know, not really too much in terms of... Because this piece is molded onto the torso here, this kind of shoulder pad. It's not connected in any way, so the arm can kind of move around pretty decently underneath. It's maybe slightly impacted by that, but it's not a big deal. Now, if you want, because he does not come with a sword in the normal set, the box for just the figure, but you can take this off. This will unpeg, and if you wanted him to hold on to this, you could. It's very dinky, but it's nice that they give you the option. So that way, even if you're buying just the box with the figure and not the accessory box, you at least have something. Now, if you buy the accessory box, you will get a larger version of the Slash Riser. So you can see these two next to each other. I kind of wish this was a little bit bigger even still, but it's certainly bigger than the one on the belt. And the nice thing is when you want him to hold this, you can take the one off the belt because it doesn't make sense for him to have one on the belt and then have this one. So you'd have to kind of keep this one nearby if you want him to like put this back on and then just take this out of his hand. Or you could just make use of this one every time if you wanted. But yeah, not bad. And this is done in a nice metallic red as well. But the best, well, let's get through his hands first, then we'll get to the best accessories. So for his hands, you can see right now I've got one gripping hand and one kind of open hand. So you get a full set of open hands, you get a full set of gripping hands, and then you get a closed fist set. Pretty standard. But now let's get on to the main event here. I'm going to go ahead and move these guys off to the side so you can get the full impact of all this coolness. So the standard figure has these kind of folded up wings here on the back, done in just black plastic, which is nice, I think, you know, just to show them completely folded up. I think it's good that they're included. But you're going to want to remove these. So you can see you have these two kind of L-shaped holes. So in the accessory box, you get 2 sets of wings, which is honestly the bulk of the accessory box. But you get these first set of wings that you can peg in here, and they're moderately sized. You know, we kind of saw him run around on the show with wings this size sometimes when he was fighting, and they're painted very nicely. I mean, it's black plastic, but the metallic red looks great, painted on both sides. Really looks nice. I really like that quite a bit. And it's, you know, it's a good look having these kind of moderately sized wings. But when you want to get some real flying done, you're going to want to pop on the massive set of wings. Honestly, even larger than I expected when I saw pictures. These are awesome. And again, painted beautifully. I mean, that metallic red just pops with the black. It looks so good. Painted on both sides. And I mean, that is a full-size set of wings. That is awesome. So I really appreciate that. I think that looks really, really cool. I'm going to temporarily put this back on. There we go. But yeah, so like I said, the 2 sets of wings are, I would say, the majority of the accessory box, because it's really the 2 sets of wings. It's this sword. It's the sword for the Grongi, And then it's that weird little neuralizer thing for V3. Those are almost negligible in my opinion. So it's basically 2 sets of wings and 2 swords, which to me seems a little light to accessory boxes we've gotten in the past, but that is a really gigantic wingspan, and it is really beautifully painted on both sides. That's the thing that I think is most important. They painted the wings on both sides, because it would not look nearly as good if they didn't. So they even painted like this part of it, which I think is really sharp. So yeah, they really, all the love went into Jin Burning Falcon, and I'm okay with it because it's a cool form. The metallic paint really pops, and it just looks fantastic. I think this is a really nice set. I mean, yes, we've seen Amazing Mighty and V3 in previous Shodo sets, and we've had Jin Burning Falcon and Shodo before, but it's nice to get them with kind of the updated articulation. And honestly, all of the paint on Jin Burning Falcon just looks amazing. I'm so glad to have that fully painted instead of fully stickered in Shodo. I'm really happy with that. Oma Zi-O, one we don't see all that often, and this Grongi almost never gets any kind of figure, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, decent assortment, definitely some new characters in here, you know, some newer versions of older characters, and honestly, just it's a pretty fun little set. I definitely recommend checking it out. Kind of sad to say we only have one more set coming for Shodo Double Cross. It's been a great line. I'm always pretty happy with everything that Shodo does. Definitely have been shifting my focus that way as of recent. And yeah, I'm interested to see. They have announced another line after the 10th set. So the 10th set will be coming, I think, either December or January, maybe even February, somewhere in there, somewhere in the next month or two. And then once that one's done, they're going to be starting over with a new line, as they do. I mean, usually with these, I think Shodo X went like 10 or 11 boxes, maybe even 12, and then they started over again. So, you know, around 10 is usually when it happens. So interested to see what the new line will bring. But yeah, Shodo Double Cross has been great, and I'm looking forward to that last box. But yeah, this one is good. Definitely check it out. If you don't need everybody, you know, pick and choose your favorites. But if you're getting Jin, you're definitely going to want to also get that accessory box. I feel like maybe with the Grongi, I think needs this sword as well. V3, you could obviously live without his pieces, and these guys don't get anything. So, you know, if you're just picking and choosing one or two from the wave, and then you don't care so much about the accessory box, but if you're getting Jin, you got to also track down that accessory box. The wings look amazing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.